In this video, I'm going to be sharing 4 tips that I wish I knew sooner when it came to doing an ombre nail. These tips are things that I saw from YouTube videos, and I was like, how come I couldn't think of those sooner? So when I first got into nail art, I had a really hard time with ombre nails to the point that I wanted to throw in the white surrender flag. But today, I'm going to share how to do an ombre nail perfectly. Okay, the first tip is that you have to use a base color for your design. I'm using Essie Blanc for this one, but you can use a neutral color, you can use a pastel color, whatever it is that you want. I personally prefer to use white just because I think it makes like softer colors a little bit brighter, but you could use any light shade that you want to use. I also sometimes use the lightest color in the ombre that I'm going to be doing as the base color. The second thing, which was like, are you kidding me when I saw this, was to take the sponge and measure your sponge up against your nail and to cut off the part of the sponge that's too much for your nail. I was like, how come I couldn't have thought of this before? So all you have to do is just measure and then take a pair of scissors and just cut it off like this. I recommend using kitchen scissors rather than like small nail art scissors because it'll be a lot easier to cut off the sponge with this. And you can even use the cut off part of the sponge for like small things that you need to use it for, like glitters or something. Alright, so for the ombre for today's design, I'm using Zoya's Tweedy, Abbey, and Elena. And I'm just going to say this, I said this before, but I love to do pastels for ombres, and since I'm only doing one nail for this design, I just decided to do pastels. So one thing I will say though, which is the third tip, is you have to let your layers dry in between, because if you continuously dab on the wet polish, you're actually going to pick up the base color and show your natural nails. So I waited probably 30 seconds to a minute and it worked out perfectly fine. So the fourth tip is you can obviously use liquid latex or a piece of scotch tape or one of those latex free skin barriers, I think they're called. You can get those on Amazon. And because I was only doing one nail, I really didn't have an issue. I just took a cleanup brush and just dipped it into nail polish remover. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, I had a really hard time dealing with ombre nails when I first got started. But once I learned these tips, I have just been having so much fun with it. So that's it.